Remember this? The endless cranking, the triple edits, the feeling that no matter how fast your fingers were, there was always someone faster. You were good, maybe even great. You mastered rotations, you had the game sense, but you still hit a ceiling. That dream of going pro felt just out of reach, locked behind a purely mechanical skill gap that felt impossible to close. What if I told you that the very things that held you back then are no longer the only keys to the kingdom? That in 2026, the game rewards not just raw mechanics, but something you've had all along: experience. The meta has shifted, and for players like you, the ones who felt left behind, your time hasn't passed. It's just beginning. Let's be honest, for years, competitive was a prison of mechanics. From the early chapters, the path to pro was a singular, grueling grind. It was defined by hyper-fast building and editing skills that required thousands of hours of dedicated, repetitive practice to even be considered viable. Slower builders, no matter how smart they were often outpaced and overwhelmed. You could have the game sense of a chess grandmaster, but if you couldn't triple edit and reset in half a second, you were at a massive disadvantage. The loot pools were relatively simple, favoring players who had perfected their aim and movement with a specific set of weapons. The pump shotgun reigned supreme, and entire fights were decided by a single, perfectly executed edit shot combination. Game sense alone could rarely compensate for a sheer mechanical disadvantage. You could predict the zone perfectly, but it wouldn't matter when an opponent could build a fortress around you in seconds. It was a tough reality that pushed a lot of talented players away from the competitive dream, but that era is evolving. Starting in Chapter 5, the philosophy of the game began to shift in a big way. The catalyst for this change was a series of game-altering decisions by Epic, primarily the introduction of weapon mods and society medallions. These systems didn't remove the mechanical skill gap, but they added deep new layers of strategy that intelligent players could exploit. The days of a static, predictable loadout are gone, with mod benches allowing you to customize everything from your scope to your magazine size for bars. A common weapon in the right hands can outperform a higher rarity one. This new philosophy isn't just about rewarding the person who has grinded the same mechanic for years. It's about rewarding the player who can adapt, strategize, and master new systems on the fly. This constant evolution has created a new path to pro, one that relies on the very skills you've been honing for years: adaptability, strategic thinking, and deep game knowledge. Your experience is now your most powerful weapon. So, how do you capitalize on this? How do you turn your veteran status into a pro contract? It comes down to a new set of rules and a new way of thinking. This is the blueprint for going pro in 2026. Step 1. Become an adaptation master. First and foremost, you must embrace the grind in a new way. The most important skill in 2026 is not just muscle memory, it's mental agility. With weapon mods and powerful mythic items changing each season, your ability to quickly identify new power combinations is what will set you apart. Instead of spending 100 hours in creative practicing a retake, spend time analyzing the new mod system. A weapon with a speed mag and an angled foregrip behaves completely differently than one with a drum mag and a laser. The pros of today aren't just mechanical gods. They are the fastest learners who understand these nuances better than anyone else. They VOD review, they lab out new weapon combinations, and they perfect their strategy before they even drop. Step 2. Master the modded weapon meta. The second step is to completely rewire your understanding of a winning loadout. The era of every fight boiling down to a simple pump shotgun duel is over. The current meta heavily favors customized weapons. A player with a blue AR equipped with a 1.3 times scope, a vertical foregrip for recoil, and a muzzle brake can easily outbeam a player with a legendary AR that has no mods. This system is a massive opportunity. It lowers the barrier for gunfights, allowing your superior game sense, knowing when to push, which angles to hold, and how to use cover, to be the deciding factor. You don't need to win every box fight if you can create a modded loadout that melts opponents from mid-range before they can even get close. And if you want to stay ahead of these constant meta shifts, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll be breaking down every update, giving you the analysis you need to stay on top of the ever-changing competitive landscape. Building is no longer the only way to get around or create an advantage. In fact, relying on it too much without a plan can get you punished. The new path to pro requires you to become a master of the utility and mobility items the island provides each season. Items that grant special movement, like the double jump from the spring leg medallion or the speed burst from the surge medallion, can completely change how you approach rotations and high ground retakes. They allow players with strong game sense to make positional plays that would have previously required hundreds of materials and complex builds. Learning the synergies between these items and the current landscape is the new high-skill mechanic. Perhaps one of the most significant changes is the continuation and evolution of the boss and medallion system. This is your in-game power-up engine, and it's tailor-made for smart, strategic players. By defeating NPC bosses at key locations, you can acquire medallions that grant powerful passive abilities, like regenerating shield or granting siphon on elimination. However, there's a catch. Holding a medallion reveals your general location on the map to all other players. This creates a fascinating risk versus reward dynamic. Do you take the early game risk for a massive end-game advantage? This system directly rewards intelligent risk assessment and map control over a few flashy plays. It means the player who plays the map, makes smart rotations, and can defend their advantage is inherently more powerful in the final circles. Finally, you need to tie all of this together. The combination of weapon mods, powerful mobility, and the medallion system demands a new approach. Intelligent fighting is about choosing your battles. It's about leveraging right-hand peaks and the advantages of your modded loadout, not just W keying into every box. Furthermore, there is a whole other path to pro that didn't exist in the early years: zero build. This mode completely removes the mechanical building barrier, placing all the emphasis on aim, positioning, and strategic use of cover and utility. For a veteran player with years of accumulated game sense, zero build is a prime opportunity to let that experience shine. The goal is no longer just to be the last one standing, but to be the smartest and strongest player in the final circle. This is where your veteran experience truly matters. Your ability to stay calm under pressure and anticipate rotations, these are the skills that win championships in 2026. The wall you hit all those years ago, it's been redesigned with new doors. The game isn't just about who can press buttons the fastest anymore, it's about who can think the fastest. It's about adaptability, strategy, and a deep, intuitive understanding of the systems at play. The very skills you've been building since you first dropped onto the island. The weapon modding system rewards creativity. The medallions reward strategic risk-taking, and zero build rewards pure game intelligence. This is a new era for Fortnite, and it was made for players like you. Your time hasn't passed. The game has finally caught up to your strengths. So what are you waiting for? Start studying the meta, master these new systems, and start your journey. That pro dream isn't a distant memory. In 2026, it's a very real possibility. Let me know in the comments which part of this new meta you're most excited to master. Good luck out there.